Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Pin Decker of Kong Tech Fu and or the Sensei of Kong Tech Fu, the DeFi crypto master, ladies and gentlemen. And we are indeed here today to give you yet another boombastic episode of Things You Should Know. So today we're going to do this on the laptop, ladies and gentlemen, because I have a couple of things that I want to show you. And before we get underway, I'm just going to go and ask you to take part in the win-win situation by going down and smashing that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We still need a few more subscribers to get to that first goal, if you will, which is 1,000 subscribers, and then on to 5,000, 10,000, and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can go ahead and monetize this channel and get some more really great things going, get some interviews going of the people you want to see and hear from, and all of those good things like that. So before we get underway, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, I always tell you that we need to get a foundation in order to get this generational money. Because if you're here, you probably already have an inkling that you have an opportunity that we've never had before. We have an opportunity that our parents haven't had before. We have an opportunity that our parents, and our great grandparents and our great great grandparents never had, because we never had an opportunity. Most of us never had, 99% of humanity never had the ability to own the plumbing of the financial rails. This is why this is generational wealth, ladies and gentlemen. We now have the ability to own the plumbing of the rails, and we have the ability to own the money and the currency and to invest into it, and also have the ability to utilize compound interest, which actually is the core component that allows wealth building, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, to all my financial warriors and all my wealth builders, welcome, welcome, welcome. And like I said, smash that subscribe button. Go ahead down there while you're at it, smash that like button, and let's get underway. Now, first and foremost, what you see in front of you, of course, is KINESIS money. I always talk about KINESIS money, and it's everything money should be, as it says here. And it's protecting your money with gold. Get rewarded every month. But you actually have access to gold and silver, ladies and gentlemen, in the form of KAU and KAG, of course. And in the traditional markets, that will be XAU and XAG, but it's K, saying for kinesis. But what you actually do is you own the tokenized gold. They store it for you. It is redeemable, which means if you want some or all of your physical gold out of your account, they will indeed send it to you. You get your own agent. I was just on the phone with my new agent today. He called to introduce himself and let me know that he was taking care of some things in my account, and not to worry, that he's going to handle everything, and it's great, So gold is going on a tear. Silver will always be useful. Silver has gone on a tear if you guys have been watching the market. So, yeah, you need to have some tokenized gold and silver. And you also earn yield on that gold and silver just for allowing Kinesis to be the custodian of your gold and silver. And Kinesis money is also a pretty good crypto platform as well. In other words, you can send crypto in, you can send in BTC, you can send in Ethereum, you can send in stable coins. They even have their own stable coin, which remarkably is the same name as Donald Trump's stable coin, which is USD1. I don't I don't know how they're going to deal with that in the future, but yeah, Trump has a stable coin called USD1. But on Kinesis, they have their own stable coin, which is USD1. But once you go into the platform, you'll find all of that out. And also, you have Uphold, ladies and gentlemen, which I use every single day. And I even have a debit card on Uphold, so I'm pretty much using it as my bank. And one thing about Uphold is they do not lend out your money, so your money is always available, and you can spend your money any way you want, when you want, how you want, because they do not lend out your money. And they also have a debit card, and they have vaults and strategies, so they kind of act like a broker as well. And then, of course, we have Caleb and Brown, which is an actual broker, where you can custody your assets, you can have them place orders for you, and all of those things. And they are protected, by fire blocks and things of that nature like that. And then, of course, you have Kraken. Kraken has been a pleasant surprise. I've just recently started using Kraken over the last several months, and I am very happy with the service that I've been getting from Kraken, and they've been doing their thing. So the link for my referral link for all of those things that I just mentioned will be down in the description below. And if you use my links, not only do you get safe passage through the crypto space, but we should also, both of us, get some type of perks. Uphold has some perks, Kraken has some perks, MEXC has some perks, and of course KINESIS has some perks as well. So that's a win-win situation for us, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let's get to why we are here, ladies and gentlemen. And we are here to talk about none other than, let us just go here and let us just go here and see if we can go to the landing page. And we're going to go here and we're going to talk about Hyperliquid today, ladies and gentlemen. Hyperliquid is a serious financial beast, and it's not just one platform. It's had some airdrops in the past where people have made life-changing money simply from the airdrops. I forget how much it was, but one guy in the first airdrop of Hyperliquid airdrop, just for participating in the platform. Let's just say he made seven figures. So yeah, off of an airdrop, ladies and gentlemen. That was the first one, and there has been a second one, and there's another one coming up soon. But what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about Hyperliquid just a little bit today, and it is the blockchain to house all finance, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, it's not just one platform that people are flocking to, and they have a serious amount of total value locked. And there are several things that you can do on the platform, as I will show you. But I also am going to show you the surrounding applications that are used in conjunction with Hyperliquid, because it is indeed a fully stocked ecosystem where you can build out this ecosystem and you can do extremely well for yourself. So as it says here, crypto is fragmented today, but it doesn't need to be. For the first time, build projects, create value, and exchange assets on the same hyper performant chain. So as you see here, this is a flagship application. It's a premier decentralized exchange. For those of you who don't know what decentralized means, it's decentralized simply means no single point of failure. So it has low fees, ladies and gentlemen, zero gas, and low fees on all orders up to 40x leverage. Trade with conviction to maximum capital efficiency. Transparent, fully on-chain order book trades, funding, liquidations all happen on Hyperliquid L1 or Layer 1, ladies and gentlemen. Seamless one-click trading, no wallet approvals to interrupt your flow. And that's for all of the traders. And the Hyperliquid stack, the perps and spot order books are two flagship applications built on Hypercore, but they are just the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. User-built applications on the Hyper EVM interact seamlessly with Hypercore to let anyone use apps, launch tokens, and trade all in one place. High-performance applications are built natively. These financial primitives on Hypercore are accessible to user-built applications on the general-purpose Hyper EVM, which supports familiar Ethereum tooling. The Hyper EVM and Hypercore exist as one unified state, unlocking applications simultaneously, require performance, liquidity, and programmability. Then you have the foundation of the Hyperliquid blockchain is Hyper BFT consensus, which lets a disparate set of nodes agree on the state of the world. The state compromises all applications built with Hypercore and Hyper EVM. So basically, what this basically means in English, ladies and gentlemen, is Hyperliquid has a couple of layers in order for you to navigate. And it took me a little while because it was kind of different from things that I've used previously. But sometimes, depending on what you're doing, will determine the difference as to whether you're on a Hypercore or Hyper EVM. And when you're using the stable coins, they like to use the layer 2 blockchain Arbitrum when you're using, and they like to specifically use the USDC stablecoin. Then you see the block time. Then you see the users. You have the max transactions per second, 200,000, and they have a daily volume of $25 billion, ladies and gentlemen. So you can go down here and you can see for yourself. Anyone can own, govern, and secure Hyperliquid through Hype, which is the network's native token, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the landing page. So without further ado, let's just take a look at what's going on in here. And we'll go and we'll just go and we'll just click in here. We'll accept that. And hold on a second. Let me just come out of here for a second because I'm actually going to have to switch my wallet here, ladies and gentlemen, because I have many wallets doing many different things. And yeah, so it recognized it instantly. All right, so this is the trade aspect, and you have spot and you have perpetuals. Now, for those of you who are traders, you may not even be familiar with the term perpetuals, but basically the perpetual swap is where, as you can see, you have a wallet that is actually attached to the account. So therefore, you pretty much have self custody in the mix, ladies and gentlemen. That's a very how should I say, baseline way of of saying it. But you can the creator of the perpetual swap was none other than our guy Arthur Hayes, and it's a new way of trading, and it's the way that people do things in the decentralized world. Things are done differently in the centralized world, but in the decentralized world, we have access to perpetuals, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can see up on the graph here, I already had already looking at Canton Coin of the Canton Network, where you can actually trade Canton here if you know about it, ladies and gentlemen, and you should know about it because I previously made a video about it, and I named that uh, Canton Network has come to eat XRP's lunch. And indeed they have. It's nothing against XRP. I'm a member of the XRP army myself. As a matter of fact, I helped to build the XRP army myself. I've been there through all of the struggles. I've been through the SEC battles. I've been through Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, and the whole nine. So yeah. So if you're a member of the XRP Army, I'm not trying to piss anybody off or anything like that. I'm a member of the XRP Army myself, and I've got the hat to prove it. But facts are facts, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're here. We're here to talk about facts. We're not here to be tribal. We're not here to be emotional. We're here to simply get the money, ladies and gentlemen. Where is the money? How can I position myself for generational wealth? Because you should be making money while you sleep. Because if you're not making money while you sleep, you're going to be working until the end of your days. Why do you think they call it retired? Because if you've been working 50, 60 years, trust me, you are tired. Okay. And because the financial system is in the trouble that it's in, there may not be Social Security for many of us that we're looking forward to it. We may not get the gold watch and the Social Security because as you guys know, I love to show the debt clock. The debt clock is showing us that the inflation is going very, very high, and even now, as we speak, China is now vying to become the new world reserve currency. So that's another thing you should keep your eye out for. They're trying to make the yuan, or better yet, the digital yuan, the world reserve currency, and yeah, we can't let that happen because if that happens, then we're all pretty much screwed because the digital yuan is a CBDC, ladies and gentlemen. And we definitely don't want to deal with that because that is total and complete control. You're decentralized, and your self sovereignty at that point will be null and void. So yeah, we just got to keep our eye on that. So yes, Hyperliquid here is a great platform. It's going to allow you to make money the way you see fit, ladies and gentlemen. So whether you want to come in here and you want to do trading, you can do that. You've got your portfolio over here. And if you go into earn, ladies and gentlemen, it'll show you a little bit on your USDC and your USDH over here. You can go into the vaults, ladies and gentlemen. And when you go into the vaults, you'll see that you have a bunch of protocol vaults. Now, you've got this one here, Hyper Liquidity Provider. This is the official um, vault of the platform, ladies and gentlemen. So this is as authentic and legit as it gets. And it has an APR of 117%, which is really great. And I put a couple of dollars in here. I've got $100 in here that I will continue to add. And then, of course, you got this one beneath it. And then you've got these user vaults down here where these are like, ordinary people who have come in here and they have set up vaults of their own. And it's pretty much like copy trading, if you will. Like if you see somebody in here that you like and you think that they're doing really well, like this first guy here, that he's the leader, obviously. It's a 487% APR. And he's been doing this for 100 and what is that, 60 days there? Yeah, it looks like 160 days there. So you can judge how long have they been successful, what their APR is, and then you can go on John and you can pretty much pick anybody you want down here. There's another guy here. There's a guy here with 772. He's had this vault open for 80 days. And then of course you can go and you can search through this and you can click through here and you can see a bunch of other people, if you click through here and you can pick whoever you want, to invest in. And the thing is that, of course, because you're copy trading, like anybody can fall off the mountain at any moment. But if they have a long, you know, uh, history, if you will, like of course the official vault has been doing this for 1,007 days. You know what I'm saying? So the official vault, I figured that's the safest bet. So even though the other APRs are a lot higher, I'll choose to stay with this because the higher the APR, you know what I'm saying? The higher the risk, the higher the reward, ladies and gentlemen. So you could be flying high 1 second and completely crash and burn the next. So I choose to try and stay a little, a little close to the ground here. And I try to keep things as even Steven as I can because I'm pretty much playing the long game, ladies and gentlemen. And then you can go over here to staking where you can take the hype token itself and you can stake that with these validators. And these validators, of course, are exactly what they say. They validate the network they secure the network by validating it. And if you move here towards the bottom, you have Hyper Foundation 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those are very good ones. Those are the official ones of the platform. And this one up here, Nansen and Hyper Collect actually have an airdrop coming soon, so you might want to consider this one as well. So if I were you, I would go with the Hyper Foundation 1, 2, 3, or 4, or Nansen and the Hyper Collective there. And that's pretty much what's going on with that. And then, of course, you've got referrals up here. And I think you can actually, you have to have a certain amount of money before you actually get, before you gain the ability to refer people. See if like we try to create a code here. It's going to say the referral code is permanent and unique to you. Choose wisely. So yeah, you may be able to create one here. So I think I'll go in here and try and create one. Because at one time they were telling me I had to have a certain, but I've been here a while. So the next thing we're going to go to, we're going to skip over that one. So I want to save the best for last. We're going to go over here to Hyper Swap, ladies and gentlemen. And Hyper Swap is another ecosystem app for Hyperliquid that you can go into where you can also, you know, earn money, of course. So you can come over here and you can swipe between the tokens that you may want, over here in the Hyperliquid ecosystem, because there are several. You got Hype, you got Wrapped Hype, you got the swap token itself, which is the token of this particular platform. You have USDT Zero, which of course is the tether coin for layer 0. You've got USDC stablecoin up here. And then you go down here and you've got these different tokens. You've got Tether Gold, which is pegged to the price of gold, obviously. You got Hyperbeat, you got Kitten Swap, you got you've got Felix, you've got Ethena. Ethena is partnered in here. The stable coin, the decentralized stable coin, also the brainchild of Arthur Hayes. Produced by Guy Young. Guy Young produced Ethena, but of course, it was the brainchild of Arthur Hayes, because Arthur Hayes wrote the essay of how to keep a stable coin stable using delta neutral strategies and so on and so forth. And then you could just go down here and look. So basically, depending on how you want to interact with Hyperliquid will determine what coins that you use, obviously. So you can go over here to explore, and you can explore different liquidity pools in order to provide liquidity and earn yield by providing liquidity to different pools. And if we were to go on down, you will see that there are certain pools that are already created.